Amitabh Matoo, or do you believe you're seeing signs of a Naya Kashmir? Should we see signs of a Naya Kashmir in the fact that we've had record tourists coming to this state in the last year, the fact that violence has clearly come down in the valley, it may have moved to the higher areas of Jammu, and there's a general sense when I speak to young people, they feel more secure. Yes, there are fewer, they feel there are lack of job opportunities, there's a drug menace here. But in general, Amitabh Matoo, do you believe that a Naya Kashmir is emerging? Or do you agree with Shabnam Lone, who says the state is sitting on a political volcano?
Rajdeep, I always look for silver linings. I mean, you might always see like a Cassandra misfortune on the anvil, but let's look at the silver lining that you are on the anvil of having perhaps the most inclusive election since 77 when Sheikh Abdullah won a landslide. Today, you have candidates from the Jamaat-e-Islami, candidates who led street protests and stone pelting from within Tihar, filing nominations. You could not have imagined that you could have such inclusive elections in Jammu and Kashmir. And perhaps it's because of the last 10 years, both the positives and the negatives, that you have such a great desire to participate in these elections. And if these elections lead to a stable, democratic, accountable government, I think that will be the beginning of a process of building a Naya Kashmir. Of course, that government, unlike governments in the past, must be not only responsible, but responsive to all the stakeholders. You have a demographic dividend, which is fast becoming a demographic nightmare in Kashmir because of unemployment and because of substance abuse. You have to channelize the energy of the youth to building the foundation of a new political economy in Jammu and Kashmir. And simultaneously, you have to work out a model of cooperative federalism whereby that New Delhi recognizes that this is a government that cannot be taken for granted. This is not a government through which you can exercise only patronage and authority of New Delhi. That is only possible when the people of Jammu and Kashmir recognize that rather than go back to the politics of 370, the bogey of 370, which had lost all potency, they used this opportunity of building a new state, which will, as I said, be as powerful as a Stalin is in Tamil Nadu, or a Sharad Pawar used to be as powerful in Maharashtra, whether in power or in opposition, or a Naveen Patnaik for all the years that he governed, or Mamta Banerjee, even in these bad, bitter days, where she has a voice. If the people of Jammu and Kashmir have a voice which can represent them in New Delhi with the ferocity of these regional leaders, I think you will have the beginning of a Naya Jammu and Kashmir. And that's what I hope for, rather than look for turbulence. Yes, go ahead, Rajdeep.
But the fact, Amitabh Matoo, the fact, Amitabh Matoo, I today went to a Ganesh Puja that was going on at a mandir, one of the few mandirs in Habakadal. And there are only 808 Pandit families left. Now, there will be those, particularly from the BJP, and the Home Minister said that today, if the BJP comes to power, they'll restore all the broken mandirs here. They promised in the past bringing back Kashmiri Pandits. It hasn't happened. In fact, a number of people again went out after targeted killings a couple of years ago. Do you see that also as a key to a new Kashmir or not?
Absolutely. What breaks my heart, and I speak not as a Kashmiri Pandit, but as someone who has a stake in the peace and stability of Jammu and Kashmir, and in an inclusive Jammu and Kashmir, which recognizes and celebrates diversity, that even in these 10 years, despite the commitments of the BJP and despite the commitments of all the parties and the past governments, Kashmiri Pandits have not been able to return with peace and dignity. And for all the slogans that we have mouthed, frankly, for me, the real test of peace will come when a Kashmiri Pandit woman is without any security, in her traditional dress, in her traditional Peran or sari, is able to walk from Habakadal to Lal Chowk without any sense of insecurity or feeling harassed. If that day happens, that is this biggest, most potent symbol of Naya Kashmir. Can people like Shabnam Lone and others work towards that?
Let me take that to you, Shabnam Lone. You've got Amitabh Matoo saying that a true symbol of a Naya Kashmir would be if a woman can walk, a Kashmiri Pandit woman can walk in her traditional dress from Habba Kadal to Lal Chowk without feeling a sense of fear and harassment. You spoke about the cultural ethos, the dignity of Kashmiris feeling discriminated, feeling that they haven't had a voice. But what about the Kashmiri Pandits? I come back to it. Eventually, Naya Kashmir will have to be built not simply by getting statehood, but by maybe rebuilding the whole notion of Kashmiriyat. Is that possible? Is that not possible? Is it too late for that as well?
I think I totally agree with Mr. Matoo on this. This is what I want to see personally. A Kashmiri woman in her attire who walks and she feels as dignified and safe as she used to feel earlier. That is what I said, Rajdeep. Cultural invasion of Kashmir has been one of the main reasons what happened here. Our cultural ethos, our plurality, and the way we lived here, a peaceful life, that life has to come back.
Can it come back? You know, are we romanticizing it? At the end of the day, the gun hasn't disappeared. I travel around, there's a large security presence too. I said even today, Mirwais Omar Farooq was not allowed to deliver his namaz. He was kept under house arrest at Jama Masjid.
For the last 3 years, Rajdeep.
Yes.
For the last 3 years.
He's allowed some occasions he's not.
But once, for the last 3 years.
My point to you is, when you say that you hope that you will see one day a Kashmiri Pandit woman walking from Habba Kadal
Not one day. I want to see it immediately after these...
Is it possible, you think?
We all have to make an effort on that. Now, with respect, I have a question for the Honorable Home Minister. When he says that this is a golden period and there has been so much of normalcy, may I question with great respect, sir, if you feel that this place is so normal, then do you, in a democracy, do you have AFSA, which involves complete suspension of fundamental rights in a democracy? Then why was not AFSA overturned during these 10 years, if it was so normal? The very reason why you have AFSA in a state is because you say that you have to suspend fundamental rights. And when you suspend fundamental rights in a democracy, that sounds the very death knell of justice, Rajdeep. That is what I want to say. I want to see AFSA away. I want to see public safety away. Unless and until we do not work on all these issues, we will always reach a dead end. Yes, this is my fond wish that all my Kashmiri Pandits, we stay in harmony the way we used to do. But on both the sides, Muslims as well as Kashmiri Pandits will really have to have a very tremendous effort. I will quote my father. He was gunned down, but he had the might and he had the strength to say at that time that the militants who have come from Pakistan, it is time for them to go back. That is why he was gunned down.
In 2002?
Yeah, 2002. That is why he was gunned down. That is the way we have to go forward. Rather than bickering about the past, we need to see a future that's full of sunshine and hope. And we will strive for that.
Okay, that's a hopeful note. I'm glad to hear two voices, two articulate voices coming on my show tonight and lending that four-letter word called hope. I hope, Professor Matoo, your voice and the voice of Shabnam Lone are heard loud and clear. And if two of you can in some way represent perhaps the true meaning of what was once seen as Kashmiriyat, maybe we can move forward. I don't know whether an election alone can do that. But certainly if, as you said, this is an inclusive election, giving an opportunity for many people to participate in it, and you get an accountable government, maybe that is a small step forward. Shabnam Lone, who's broken her silence, as I said, after 5 years, thank you very much for doing that. She said she's doing it only...
I had to do it because of Mr. Rajdeep Sardesai's phone call. I said, I have so much respect for you, I have to be here.